Our customers at ESL were three-letter agencies for U.S. government. And supposedly you couldn't tell your wife or spouse who you worked for. The story was it was the Joint Defense Space Research Facility. And today it's acknowledged what's one of the agencies are there. And some of the wives actually knew what their husbands, who they worked for, what they did. And if you were married, you got to live off the facility, and I lived on it because I was a bachelor, so you didn't get to live in town. And so the only thing to do was drink and have barbecues at the time. And so one alcohol-fueled barbecue, sitting with a couple wives, and one of the engineers from ESL had a wife that looked like she was right out of a commune. I mean, granny dresses and granny glasses and, politics to match, and, would always talk about our evil government and whatever. And I'm sitting here going, well, this is a good, interesting conversation. And again, there was too much alcohol at this dinner. And one of the wives said, well, to this other woman, well, if you believe that, what do you think about your husband working for Agency X? And the wife, and all of a sudden you could see the other women go, and the husbands go, and the wife, you could just see, what? And all of a sudden, because she had the reaction of the woman who said this, oh, I shouldn't have said that, it made the woman she said it to go, what?
Yeah.
And she turned to her husband, and then everything exploded. And the next thing I remember was standing outside their house in the grass, looking at the Southern Cross, hearing her scream, "Tell me it's not true." And the next morning, they were all gone. All gone. All three families gone from the site. And I always wondered what happened to him and her. The good thing is ESL was one of the things that probably kept us out of the war in the Cold War, because we were able to understand the intentions of the Soviet Union in a way that stopped us from doing stupid things. So it was actually quite good for the country. But if your worldview was not oriented that way, that everything the government did was evil, that there weren't people with good intentions trying to solve some problems, your world came apart, and her world came apart in exactly that moment. And I remember watching her face as her entire worldview just exploded about the person she was living with, sleeping with, thought she knew, etc., all within like 5 or 10 seconds. And it was just a pretty amazing experience.